Welcome back to the LCS Proving Grounds, CLG Academy versus 100 Thieves Academy. And a back and forth slugfest, Joshi. We saw it in our first series of the day, and now in this series, we're getting something similar. It's just back and forth with these squads. 100 Thieves Academy, they got the stomp in game number 1. Game number 2 saw CLG doing a slow burn to victory. Now we're headed into game number 3, and it's going to be our 6th game of the day, Joshi.
It is. We're going to a Game 6, everyone. It's going to be a great time. And thanks for sticking with us. I think it's worth noting that this is 5 games in a row of the team with a better scaling composition doing better in these situations. The only exception to this, or I guess it's not 5 games, but 4 games out of 5 have gone this way. And the one time where it hasn't was TSM playing an early game composition that was easy to execute on. You get these wombo combos that work very naturally, the Nocturne and the Hecarim setting up for the Galio delivery system. And other than that, almost everybody else has been letting their opponents make mistakes. The Renekton Nidalee combo has unfortunately not worked twice, despite its early priority in these series. So the question will be, who's feeling like they can execute today? Do they think that they are going to be able to play in such a way that they can make these early game compositions work? In which case, that team will likely play something early game once again. Say it's like, oh, we just didn't pull it off. Or is one of these teams going to say, I don't know if we can do it. I'm not sure if we're in the right state of mind to play all these mechanical champions. Let's fall back into something that we know is going to have success if we let our opponents just take the game later.
You know, it wasn't too bad for 100 Thieves Academy, though, because there was some life in them in the way they played their composition. You know, having that touch and go with the Sivir ultimate, being able to go in, try and get whatever win you can, and get out. It was just the scaling was too strong for CLG. They played it, they distributed their gold much better, and yeah, you said the scaling comp won that time. And they won very, very handily by just playing it slow and letting 100 Thieves be the ones to make mistakes.
Yeah, it was surprisingly playable from 100 Thieves. They actually did a fantastic job at playing a lot of these team fights and not succumbing to the initial damage burst and the initial engage coming out from CLG. But as you said, you know, it doesn't really matter if you can't get off the ground, right? You actually have to be able to go into these team fights with some level of parity, and then you can start finding these wins. And now the question is, which one of these teams is going to actually be winning in order to play up against Evil Genius's Academy and potentially later play C9 Academy or Zeus Gaming? Because this is it. As Lorem said, you know, it's 0-0. It's best of 1. Game 3. That sounded really weird now that it came out of my mouth, but best of 1. Game 3.
Yeah, but now that we're in this state, I'm very curious as to how side selection is going to go. I want to see who's going to take what, because CLG, I talked about it earlier, they love blue side, but they do really well on blue side. Their draft, comparing blue side draft to red side draft, it's day and night. You know, with the whole red side thing, you saw the whole going Seraphine, Nocturne, MF in the first few picks. This time they got blue side, it was Ornn, Hecarim, and Rise, which are all very, very prominent, powerful champions to grab. And Scratch, it was Hecarim. I realized I didn't have my order. Hecarim, Tristana, and Rise, right? Believe that was the order, but yeah, it was much better shaped this time around.
Yeah, it's really important to kind of figure out like what you're going to do in the first half of the draft. Or you don't necessarily have to have a strong cohesive plan at the first half, but you need to be open to a variety of different plans. And we saw this difference coming in from CLG and 100 Thieves Academy in that last game. Ornn, Hecarim, and Rise, right, were coming through as some of the early picks, and I realize now that my notes have the end of the draft. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
But it's definitely an interesting spot where you have a lot of freedom, right? You can take a lot of directions. Even with the strong front line, you aren't committed to front to back. If you want to grab a couple of divers in order to make Sivir and Victor's life more difficult, you can do that. Or you can just double down on what you already did. Whereas the Renekton Nidalee, you're not necessarily setting up for a lot of play in other directions. You're trying to play for the early mid game, and if you can't find that success, you're not going to have a whole lot left.
Honestly, I still like the draft from 100 Thieves at the end of the day. I thought it was like not too bad, but
yeah,
just they weren't able to execute what they needed to win, which was the early game play and the early game momentum and stopping CLG from getting that scaling state. So now the question is, what type of draft do we see coming into this? Because I believe 100 Thieves have opted into blue side now, which does throw a wrench back into CLG's plans if they want to do a draft similar to what they had last game.
Yeah. They've got options, right? They played it early on. They picked Jinx, Udyr, and Thresh, 3 very powerful champions. They're going to do something similar.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. I mean, for CLG, it does look like 100 Thieves would be very, very happy to leave stuff like the Seraphine open and allow CLG to grab that, because we saw they couldn't really build a comp around it. Once they grabbed it, it felt like they drafted themselves into a hole. So I'm wondering if they're going to go for that. I'm wondering like how they are going to shape up these bans, what CLG want to take away from 100 Thieves to make sure they don't have a repeat of game number 1.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting spot, right? 100 Thieves, I don't think are going to allow CLG to get Seraphine again, even though they did it the first time on blue side, simply because I don't think they can assume that CLG will pick a composition that doesn't build around the Seraphine if they have a second chance at it. I think they would recognize that CLG understand where they went wrong in the first draft and make sure that they don't make the same mistakes again.
And then over on the side of 100 Thieves Academy, you know, you had the disaster that was game number 2. They just weren't able to find their opportunities, able to find their openings. But if you reflect onto game number 1 and what helped them win, it was a lot based off of what Kenvi could do early, what Kenvi could snowball Tenacity into doing early, and then just positioning from the carries, Luger and Demonte standing in good spots.
Yeah. No, I even in this game, like, Kenvi had a lot of freedom to move around the map, and he had a lot of opportunities to counter jungle, potentially come up towards the top lane, but it really hurt when the first couple of plays don't go their way. Like, Nidalee stops being as useful, and I know a lot of the people who are watching will just know if you're a Nidalee player and you aren't finding kills in the first couple of minutes, you're kind of sad.
Yeah, definitely put a frown on that one, but now it is time for the Champ Select 100 Thieves Academy versus CLG Academy. It's now underway.
Alright, we'll see what kind of draft they want to go for. We've been seeing this Gnar ban quite a bit coming out from 100 Thieves Academy, taking it away from Tien. It is one of his better champions throughout the entire Proving Grounds circuit, and the Hecarim ban also coming through. This has been a champion that I believe has a 100% win rate today, and has definitely been very strong throughout the entire tournament. Yeah, so Zeus won in their game 1, TSM won in their game 2. I don't remember if it was played in game 3 at all, but it has also won game 2 here for CLG versus 100 Thieves, so not even going to risk letting 100 Thieves first pick it.
No, that Hecarim is just too strong. Another ban to come through will be the Tristana, not going to allow that one to get through, and it's kind of looking shades of game number 1. Of course, 100 Thieves were on blue side for that one as well, so if it would be par for the course, there's the Thresh ban, so that's going to break the course in that one. That was something 100 Thieves were able to pick up.
Yeah, and typical expectations would be that 100 Thieves can either ban Udyr or Seraphine here, right? If you have to pick one, you typically grab the Seraphine for yourself because it's good into Udyr, but now CLG recognize that both Udyr and Seraphine are up, ban the Udyr. Seraphine, best champion left on the patch after Tristana, Udyr, and Hecarim all taken off the table. Rel's still also very good.
Will 100 Thieves take it, though? That's the other
Kai'Sa.
question. Kai'Sa was left up, and it is something that CLG Academy really like, but
not that
gotta do the Nunu flex, you know, just showing Keel his old champ. But yeah, Kai'Sa getting locked in for 100 Thieves Academy, and now CLG Academy. I see your face. I see it. You're not liking that pick. It is the Nocturne, as well as the Rel, which I very much do like on hooks.
Yeah, I definitely like Hook's Rel. I think Nocturne has some strengths, but it is going to be another situation of CLG opting into playing this early game and forcing themselves to play this early game effectively. It's difficult to play, and if you fall behind, you don't have a whole lot of tools, and naturally Rel, while very strong, does struggle into the Alistar. You're not going to have the same kind of ability to engage, and we saw earlier on how effectively this Alistar can be played in that lane. The Volibear comes through as well, and 100 Thieves looking to pick up pretty standard style composition. CLG a little bit more focused on dive.
It's a pretty notorious synergy as well. Kai'Sa and Alistar really do work well together. But for CLG Academy, I do get pretty excited when you see Hooks grab that Rel, because I don't know if you watched their matchup versus Dignitas Mirage. Hooks had some of the most insane engages I had ever seen on a Rel before. So it is a champion he's very prominent in. It's a champion he can get the team fights going for CLG Academy on.
Yeah, and this is definitely a kind of situation where CLG also is going to be relying on hooks pretty heavily. You have 2 members already diving in, hooks, and whoever ends up playing this Nocturne. You are going to be diving through, and Katsuri is going to be off on his own, right? This is kind of one of those situations where the Xayah is able to play without a whole lot of peel, because everybody on your team is likely going to be diving forward in order to create this screen of other threats that are going to be able to hit you. And now CLG going to be trying to create a little bit more space by getting rid of these champions that are immune to crowd control, and this Karthus actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
It makes a lot of sense. It's something that Kill has played before,
Yeah.
and he won. Like, he actually dominated with the Karthus before, so it kind of just cracks me up. It shows that 100 Thieves Academy have done their homework and really researched what they're going against.
Yeah, and the Nocturne Karthus combination is really strong because you both press R at the same time, and you know, Nocturne, if he's already close to getting those kills, Karthus is going to be able to finish it off. So I like this adaptation coming in from 100 Thieves, or to limit that combo potential. The question is, you know, CLG can bring magic damage from a lot of other sources, and while Karthus is best in class for being able to dunk on somebody from multiple screens away, it's not necessarily going to be the only thing they can play, but it is going to be limiting pretty heavily some of the major options CLG has shown in the past.
So let's see what CLG Academy are willing to combine with this Nocturne. They're already hovering the Rise, which does give you, like, kind of the same thing as the Paranoia in a sense. You can't just warp from one place to another. So it will allow follow-up onto the engage from the Nocturne. You know, you can't really hate the pick that much. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves Academy just happy hovering over the Renekton.
Renekton's interesting. Again, like, the Volley Bear is flexible between multiple positions, so this says to me that it's probably going to be a Kenvi champion if they do lock this in, and yeah, it is going to be a lock for the Renekton, but they also got to show exactly what they want to play, and oh, okay, so this is Damonte's Renekton, is what I'm seeing. Right, that's interesting, right? You have crowd control in all lanes that is effectively point and click between the Volibear, Renekton, and Alistar, so Kenvi has more places that he can go. However, you're picking a very short-range composition into characters like Rise and the Xayah, who can tear you apart. And once again, this Nocturne kind of feels like the odd man out. It is going to be going into the jungle this time, played by Keel, but it's, you know, it's trying to deal with a heavy dive coming out from all the members of 100 Thieves, and Nocturne isn't super excited about playing in the middle of that many melee champions.
But he would be less excited if he was playing that in a lane. I mean,
yes.
Look at the beastly stuff you have to go against Tenacity and Damonte, the Bear and the Croc. Wouldn't be that much fun, so just going to be happy taking that into the jungle. But overall compositions, you know, from 100 Thieves, you do have, again, they like focusing around that early game skirmish, but it's much more flexible this time. You still have something that, it does scale decently, but it has a strong power point towards that mid spot.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. This is going to be an interesting spot where the game is likely make or break around Dragons 2, 3, and maybe 4 if the game still hasn't been decided at that point, because 100 Thieves, they have this very, very aggressive composition that's going to be balling up quite a bit. And early on in the game, before Xayah and Rise can really tear this composition apart, and the DPS just isn't there, 100 Thieves should win. But as the game goes later, it doesn't matter that Aatrox and Nocturne are a little bit out of place. Yeah, Rise and Xayah are going to be doing enough damage with the Raw that they can effectively 3v5.
Yeah, and it allows Katsuri to play safer. He does have the Featherstorm, should be able to get away from a lot of these attempted engages, but the one you have to keep your close eye on is Poom. Poom will be going for that backline often, and Poom can disrupt a lot. If Katsuri gets caught out before the Featherstorm comes out, Katsuri's pretty much gone. Same thing with RJS. You catch with a Headbutt Pulverize, you pretty much cancel out the Realm Ward. So
yeah,
there are tools that work really well for 100 Thieves Academy to compete with what CLG Academy have brought to the map.
Yeah, I'm excited. Gonna be paying a lot of attention to RJS and Katsuri this game, simply because they are playing those range damage dealers. And then, of course, for 100 Thieves, gotta pay attention to Kenvi. He's got a lot of tools and a lot of members that are looking to set him up.
Hey, first spear gonna land. 100% landing rate.
Woo! Better than Yankos, right?
And we're at 50%.
50%.
100% on kill, though.
Alright. We'll see how it goes. It is going to be pretty standard things coming out from just about everybody in terms of items and runes early on in the game. The only thing that might be a bit surprising still to people is Poom with the Phase Rush is going to have a lot of movement speed. It helps to guarantee the E stun, by running over people and trampling his tenacity, digging a hole in the top lane.
Yes, he is.
That's about it.
He's been a good boy. Talking about that face rush, I've always loved that on Alistar. I remember you used to take the Aftershock to just become a tanky boy, but you press R and you already become the tankiest of boys. You get the phase rush and you do get a lot of that movement speed ability to just disrupt on a whole different level, especially when it comes to landing that stun.
For sure. It is definitely much better later on when you do have access to that ultimate, but isn't quite as exciting early on in the game where you used to rely on that Aftershock for some of your early game trades. And we'll see if Poom is going to be able to make good use of this. He had a fine game last game. Unfortunately, the game just kind of decided in places where he was not. And so as 100 Thieves come about, we'll see how well they're able to perform. I'm kind of surprised that they opted into Renekton versus Ryze because it is tougher to punish up here than it would be in the long lane and top.
And Ryze very much can punish. Takes a little bit of time, get a couple items here and there, but once he starts the combos, once he gets his levels, it will be pretty much about who gets the first combo at the end of the day. Will it be Damonte? Will he get the stun in and just be able to slice and dice out, or is RJS going to catch him as he tries to jump in?
Yeah, and different clear from Kenvi coming through. Red, blue, Gromp is now level 3. Can potentially look for ganks, but notices that Tenacity already pushed Tian under turret. That should bounce, and Damonte only level 2. Not going to have the easiest setup until he gets access to W, Q, and his E. So instead, Kenvi not going to have an opportunity to gank right away, and I want to say I want to see him be ganking already, but you can't just be giving up a ton of farm up against something like the Nocturne. So going to be playing a little bit safer, but they do spot him out now, so Tian knows he's safe.
And with RJS, knowing that he has the Rise, he can always continue to push in, but he used that very first hard push to put on a ward, and now he knows exactly where Kenvi is. He knew Kenvi was going to head over towards that side of the map, and he's able to play it much more safer and back off.
Yeah. So this is going to likely result in Kenvi having an opportunity to pick up both Scuttle Crabs, right? He's able to start hitting this one, doesn't know he's on vision, but they do see him doing it, and Damonte walks up towards the top half of the map, not necessarily to do it himself, but just to make sure that Keel isn't doing it. Kenvi walking up is going to be able to, remain a camp ahead of his jungle opponent simply because of how well his lanes were able to play some of these early waves. So good job to 100 Thieves so far.
And for Kill, he's definitely going to need a lot more lane priority if he's going to be able to have a clean jungle and not see a situation like we saw in game number 1 where he was pretty much just starved out of his own jungle. So it really is up to the side lanes, pretty much all the lanes of CLG, to hold that priority and allow Kill the room to be able to grow.
So this game, I think it's going to be a little bit quiet. We might see a bit of trading down in the bottom lane between Rel and Alistar, but as we already talked about, they do a fantastic job nullifying the other in terms of their ability to engage. Damonte just trying to farm as well as possible. He doesn't want to take too much damage from RJS, and it's also hard for him to get priority. The one thing he's got going in his favor is the fact that he doesn't have any mana.
Has no mana, has no resources. RJS does have the tier though, so it will be a bit of time before he's able to just continue just spamming, and Damonte can do not too much about it unless he has some jungler intervention out of Kenvi. And he's getting jungler intervention, it's just the wrong way around. Keel showing up and hovering around this lane. But
okay,
so
Kenvi
is Kenvi. Now it's the right way around. Sidestepping the spear, RJS doesn't care. He takes down the Croc.
Oh, okay, this is not good. Eric, the Renekton Nidalee gives over the kill in Nidalee's first gank. That's not how this combination is supposed to work, and it's part of why it's not super exciting for me to see, is because it is so much counterplay. You should know exactly when Nidalee's there. You should know when they're trying to make these ganks go off, and Kenvi missing the spear just because RJS is too far away.
Yeah, he had enough time to react to it. Simple sidestep, and Damonte could do nothing but watch in horror as his jungler just tried his best to get as close as we take another look at that.
Yeah, credit to RJS for shading towards this side of the map, right? Even though he gets stunned due to the distance that Kenvi has to traverse in order to land that spear, means that RJS comes out of the stun before the spear actually lands. And good sidestep, gets the damage down, and has no fear at all. So RJS looking pretty darn good in this game. Of course, you know, he is in a favorable lane matchup.
I mean, every time I've seen RJS, it is a little bit of a wild ride. I remember in the Game 3 of his last series with Supernova, he took out Cassidy and like went from someone who was basically sandbagging to someone who was hard carrying the game. He could, you know, get yourself a mid laner who can do both, I suppose.
Yeah, sometimes in the same game, right? All right, Kenvi and Poom, once again moving forward, and this is kind of interesting, right? We got to pay a lot of attention to Keel. He is currently level 5. I'm just gonna likely try and smite away this Gromp. The answer is oh.
Here comes the engage, but Poom hiding in the wings, able to get the double pulverize. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough, but Luger wants to be the one to equalize this one. Goes straight after hooks. Kenvi will grab that kill. Only the retract on the feathers to get the root as a parting gift. 100 Thieves able to win.
Yeah, faster to rotate, have more members there in time, and we see the kill getting picked up by Kenvi, and that is going to help out quite a bit. I was not expecting CLG to go for a fight before Nocturne had access to that ultimate, but game remains rather even, and once again, we're seeing the same story from the first series. Eric, Game 1, dominating performance from one team. Game 2, dominating performance if a bit slower. Game 3, dead even at the 7-minute mark. 1 kill apart and within 500 gold.
We might have ourselves a slugfest right here, Joshi. Definitely hoping for it on this one. I mean, both of these teams, we talked about the background of them a little bit. 100 Thieves, they have had success. They are a third-place squad. CLG, they're trying to make a run that avenges their performance that we saw from earlier when it came to this Tier 1 circuit. So a lot of them do have something to prove in this.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job. Tenacity, I've heard this called the IQ test, right? You just gotta walk sideways out of it. It is Indiana Jones, and both of them, actually just Tien popping the ultimate, but the creep block forces that fight to even come through because Tenacity couldn't run to the left. So we'll see how they end up working out. Rather even there, rather even bot lane. The only places where there's any real discrepancy is the mid lane, where RGS has a CS lead and a kill, and in the jungle, where Kenvi has gotten a kill over Keel.
We'll see if we'll get that lost chapter as well, so it's going to be a lot more pressure onto Demonte. And not even for going for kills, it's just for clearing the wave. That's pretty much it right there. Clear the wave and you can open up the rest of the map.
Yeah, it also builds into the items he wants to build, right?
Of course, of course, of course.
It is a good stepping stone. Cool components coming through. Lost Chapter giving you all the extra mana, so he will be able to stay in lane without his blue buff as often. But hey, Keel level 6 now, Nocturne. We gotta pay attention to the paranoias, right? The first couple paranoias tend to matter more than the later ones. He's looking to find some big plays. He's got some crowd control in every single lane. So there should be an opportunity for him to go for some of these ganks rather soon. And this can be a make or break point. If Nocturne gets ahead, it doesn't matter if he's playing into all these big, beefy melee guys, but if he falls behind, suddenly you're kind of down a champion.
Look at this Prio coming out from CLG Academy over towards the bot side, just chasing the bot lane of 100 Thieves away. You still have Keel down there, so that is the fear right there. That is them realizing that Keel is level 6, and they have to give him respect.
Moving down to the bottom side. You know, I actually wonder, we talked about the Nocturne not being super excited to play into a bunch of melee champions. He used to be a Gore Drinker champion, right? Because you just press that, you heal up for a ton of HP out of nowhere. And while Stridebreaker has become the more common build, it doesn't do as well into all these melee champions. Hooks does get revealed, and I think they have a pretty good idea that Nocturne's here.
Yeah, Keel spending a lot of time trying to set up this gank, but it's not going to work out. Got to look elsewhere if you're going to find that first paranoia. As we said, that paranoia is extremely impactful. It really shapes the game when it comes to the jungle. A little bit of scrapping going on in the top lane.
Yeah, but as things kind of settle down, you know, we got to look at our team fight timers again. Oh, he just goes in.
Oh, Tenacity wants it. He gets the stun. He's going right after Thien, and in the 1v1, Tenacity takes down Thien.
Yeah, I was going to praise Tien for a moment there, using the ultimate to fear all the minions so he's not taking a ton of extra damage, but Tenacity just does all the extra damage necessary with his Q on a low health, excuse me, with his W on a low health target, ripping them apart, brings up the Rift Herald, and now Suddenly Tenacity is going to be in a very strong position. They find RJS.
RJS in a horrible spot. The Pulverize comes out, so does the Headbutt, setting him far away
more.
from home. Oh, getting the Phase Rush is not enough to keep him alive. He will fall. And 100 Thieves, they're starting to get control of the map. You have Shelly over in the top side making another charge to another tower. 100 Thieves are playing this well.
And this is right before the Dragon. Everything is starting to go 100 Thieves' way. They're executing on this early game composition. They're going to have opportunity to take down this Mountain Dragon. And CLG, RJS will be up in time from this position in order to try and contest it, but 100 Thieves still very happy with the fact that they got an entire turret worth of plates giving over to Tenacity.
And even got that inner tower very, very low. So you have a lot you could work with your 100 Thieves. CLG Academy, however, knowing they have some control over towards the bot side of the map, they're happy to go after this neutral objective, get the Drake, start setting up some potential win condition with Dragon Soul.
I'm a little bit surprised that 100 Thieves seeded this Dragon as well, right? RJS was dead. They had extra members on the map. They were relatively healthy, but instead they're just going for Tien again.
Here comes the teleport. Tien trying to use the World Ender, will sidestep the spear. Demonte looking to come out from over the wall. Will not get the second charge. And now the swing goes out.
Oh,
Nocturne
no.
Paranoia is going to do nothing but just deny a little bit of vision. The job has been done. They got the kill. 100 Thieves get away.
The idea is good from Kiel. Deny the vision from Nidalee from actually jumping in. But, you know, if Nidalee is already on top of their target, they can see them, right? You're not going to be able to stop it there. It needed to be used a little bit earlier. And that first Paranoia just off the map suddenly means this Nocturne not going to be as effective. Is going to be missing a big opportunity to try and find some kind of lead. So start giving over a little bit more gold once again. 100 Thieves, one of the larger early game leads we've seen so far throughout this entire series today.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Only 12 minutes in, and they're already collected about 2.6k in a gold difference. So it's looking good for 100 Thieves right now. They have a lot of early game tools, and they're utilizing them quite well as well. So here comes Demonte. He's just clearing out the wave and really turning this priority on its head to put Kill in a situation where he's constantly paranoid, constantly afraid, because Nocturne isn't the best duelist when it comes to dealing with jungle pressure.
Nope. Especially when he doesn't have his ultimate available, and now that he doesn't have his flash, it's going to be easier for Kenvi to do something similar in the future, taking away this top side of the jungle, and they're going to get a whole lot of vision. And not only does this prevent Kiel from walking in without help, but it also gives Tenacity a lot of freedom to potentially go for this dive. And he has his ultimate. This turn might just be low enough that they just take it, though.
100 Thieves are starting to send more members all the way up towards this top lane. You do have Poom up there, but it's only for protection for the time being, just making sure these other two members get out perfectly fine. Tower's still very low, not able to claim it just
Teleport
yet.
bottom lane.
Will be a TP in the bot lane. They're going after Katsuri. Luger trying to get the damage in, but here comes Tenacity, and down goes Katsuri. The Turkish Terror able to grab the kill.
5-1 coming out for 100 Thieves. They're playing this early game so well. Ultimately, like, they're coming up with a pretty big lead. And you know, I said at the beginning of the game, I'm going to be watching RJS and Katsuri. They are the damage dealers. They are going to be doing the AoE later on. As Heal should be able to secure this. He does in fact have Smite. And we hadn't really touched on the fact that prior to dying right there, Katsuri was quietly building a small CS lead over Luger. He had his Gale Force completed, and he was looking to be on track to be as powerful as Zaya's tend to be, right? Which is to say, really good in these, you know, melee compositions that their opponents bring up. Unfortunately, giving over that kill means that Luger now has a little bit more power, going to get closer to that collector faster, so they will have an opportunity to try and blow him up. And this game that was kind of hanging in the balance, again, going further in 100 Thieves' favor.
And it's so tricky to pin down Luger as well. You consider the Killer Instinct. It's a great engage tool that works synergistically well with the rest of 100 Thieves comp, but it can also be a very disorienting tool to just find a disengage, just use it for the sake of the replacement, and get away from a scary situation. That is why the Kaisa is so loved by CLG. That is why they often try to go for him. It works really well with Katsuri, and Luger is starting to put on a display.
Yeah. And it's best in class with these like diving compositions, right? For 80 carries. For a long time, it was undisputed that way. And then Samira came along, and you know there was a bit of a dispute. But now that Samira has been kind of removed from the top of the professional meta, Kaisa, once again, the only real AD carry that can dive with her team effectively. And so we'll see how well they're actually able to pilot it. Luger 101 doesn't have a completed item just quite yet, but does have the Q evolve due to stopping by for the serrated Dirk. As we start looking at Dragon 3 coming up, 100 Thieves should feel pretty good about their chances here, and they do not want to give this up. They do not want CLG to have a coin flip for Dragon 4 securing Ocean Soul.
It is 30 seconds until this dragon does spawn. So 100 Thieves, they're off on that side of the map. Bot side river, they're getting that deep vision. They're watching where CLG Academy is going to be. And you already have that lane priority coming out from Damonte as well, who's shoving all the way to the tower. So this river, pretty much unofficially the property of 100 Thieves as they roam from lane to lane.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we'd imagine. We saw 100 Thieves get some surprising Dragon Steals in Game 2. But now, as they lose their mid lane turret, priority again going into 100 Thieves. Ooh, Tenacity. Gotta be a little bit careful, but they should get a second crash here and be able to fall back, should they choose to, in order to pick up this dragon. Crash. Oh!
No!
Nice.
Yeah, so there is a trick with that. I've seen it happen a few times where if you time your auto well, you technically auto Shelly while her back is showing to you before she hits the tower.
Cool little interaction, actually. You just gotta auto a little bit later, which is not something people typically do, but Kenvi, with a priority built in mid lane and bottom lane, is going to be able to solo out this dragon, and Tenacity and Poom able to come up. Keel is hovering, see if he knew he was going to come, but without knowing how many people are here. Oh, he's going mid lane.
The Nocturne ult is being popped. Meanwhile, RJS on the top side looking to run away. Two beastly animals chasing him down. Nocturne ult being popped really amounted to nothing, and it's really so sad to see. You're waiting for these big, impactful Nocturne ults. You're not finding them. He's still 0-0-0.
I mean, you got Luger's ultimate, I guess, right? There's not a whole lot that you're picking up here, but, I mean, this is why the champion is unexciting, because it doesn't do enough damage for in a lot of these early plays as... Okay, they're going to be able to get out. It doesn't do enough damage to necessarily find a lot of these plays on their own. Like, they tend to need setup from other people, and falls off later on in comparison to a lot of other junglers, right? You look at Nidalee, who, worst comes to worst, you can still build a Moonstone, right? It's not exciting, but you can do it. Nocturne, I mean, I guess you can build a Moonstone, but you don't want to, because you're not going to be doing a whole lot. You don't have anything after that, because you're just this, you know, big AD threat that's suddenly no longer a threat.
And 100 Thieves Academy are now going deeper and deeper into the jungle of CLG Academy. I'm going to deny some of those resources from Kill and set this Nocturne even further behind. And when I say further behind, I really mean it. Look at the level difference between the two junglers. Level 10 is Kill, level 12 is Kenvi. And Kenvi has been racking it up. He's got 2 kills, he's got a slight CS advantage, but his impact on the map is what really put him in this position.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, Keel has his ultimate up again. Luger's is not quite available, but there's not a lot to fight for on the map. There's no Herald, there's no Baron, there's no Dragon, and so 100 Thieves are going to be settling back a little bit, but it's also kind of scary, right? Like, 100 Thieves are still looking to be aggressive. They still want to get some of these fights, and because Dragons 1 and 2 went over to CLG, 100 Thieves are very far away from Ocean Soul, and Ryze and Xayah are continuing to scale. I think that was one combo. I think.
Yeah, RJS can bring the pain. He's still looking to bring some more, and that's why Poom headed down towards the spot lane. Question is, do 100 Thieves know that CLG have sent a couple of members towards the spot lane as well? Keel and Hooks coming around the corner, looking to spot out what's going on. And here's the paranoia being used. Will he be able to show up in time? Teleport goes through. It's 100 Thieves who are pushing the pressure. Getting low is Kenvi, throws out a spear, instantly has to back off. SDN on the back line, swinging away, trying to be the world ender that he's meant to be. Katsuri eats a spear, and Luger's trying to make him eat more with the missiles, but no kill going through either way. A stalemate for 100 Thieves and CLG.
We do see something that Nocturne is doing in this game in particular, right? Against all these melee champions that are looking to dive together, he makes it very hard for them to coordinate. Luger can't ult in from a screen away. Tenacity and Damonte, if they aren't already on top of each other, can't get onto a new target at the same time, so this chaotic fight ends up with nobody actually dying, in large part due to the fact that Paranoia blocked off all of their vision. So, you know, Nocturne is doing something, right? It's not nothing, but it is the kind of thing where Nocturne isn't able to do a whole lot of damage, isn't necessarily able to create a whole lot of threat, and they are kind of relegated to being this utility character.
In disengaging a fight, sure, it's fine, but this is not what you take Nocturne for. He's falling behind, plain and simple. I mean, look at Kenvy's EXP. He's almost at level 13. We still haven't gotten a level 11 kill yet.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to be fair to CLG, right? They did first... Oh, we'll get back to that. We'll be fair to them in a second, as Tien gets caught.
It's going to be very unfair in this bot lane for CLG. Thien, all by his lonesome. Tenacity grabs that kill. Easy, said, and done. 100 Thieves. They're continuing the momentum.
Do this. Yeah. They don't have the damage for this yet. You know, to be fair, right, we looked at the very first couple of games where we saw the Nocturne and the Nidalee come through. And the Nidalee didn't look particularly good earlier in the day as they, you know, get Katsuri's flash because it didn't get off the ground. Right? It didn't find a couple of kills. Now, Kenvy did find a couple of kills, and to his credit, he earned those kills. Keel didn't get any kills, and whether or not that's his fault or something that just happened in the game, he doesn't have any kills, he doesn't have any gold, and ends up looking worse because of it. And so as we start getting into the rest of this game, you know, kind of keep that in the back of your head. At this point, all the previous decisions are now affecting Keel in ways that are no longer in his control.
Yeah, and now the level difference just happened, by the way. Keel, level 10, Kenvy, level 13. That is the difference going on, and those levels really, really do mean a lot for stats, for pretty much base damage of your skills. So Keel hasn't been that impactful, and he's trying to find an impact on the map, but it is far too late, man. You're level 10, that's a level 12 and a level 14. There's no way he's getting in that.
Yeah, and off the opposite side of the fight, RJS goes down. And this, with all 5 members still alive, is 100 Thieves' opportunity to pick which objective they want. The problem is, they gotta be able to stop CLG from getting this Ocean Soul, and they're committing Tenacity and Poom to stick around in order to try and contest it. Neither side has a smite here.
CLG are the ones to start it up, but take a look at Baron all meanwhile. Kenvy and Luger, happy to just go after that one. Only a defensive line poised up for 100 Thieves Academy as the Hex Splash is going to come out. They haven't really dedicated to this fight. They have the Blast Plant. There's a nice window of opportunity for Poom to go in. He's going to get the knock-up onto Thien and then immediately look to bail out. Here comes the teleport. Poom is fed to the Wolves and left all by his lonesome. All that being said, though, Baron has gone to 100 Thieves. And now, another battle line drawn, CLG Academy. They're going straight for this Drake. They do have 5 strong. Going into 4 members of 100 Thieves. And the steal comes in from Kenvy. Able to take it away from CLG, and they want to take the life away from CLG if they can. But Thien has something to say about it, but so does the spear of Kenvy. Knocking Katsuri even lower and lower. A spear only barely going to whip away. Luger looks to go in, using the killer instinct to draw some line, to draw some distance. Missiles go out, not going to land. Thien, Katsuri, RJS all on the run from the menace that is 100 Thieves. Realm Warp used defensively right into the Wandering Arms, and they will actually claim another kill. But here comes Luger with the killer instinct. He's able to clear up another one. He wants to find Thien as well, but Thien will get punished thanks to Kenvy. A huge win for 100 Thieves as they're able to clean house and grab the Drake as well.
Wow, that was such a bizarre play. That's definitely something that I promise you both coaches are going to go back and be like, all right, win or lose, we got to talk about what happened in this spot. But the huge spear coming up from Kenvy makes that play so much better for 100 Thieves. They deny CLG an opportunity to coin flip for the next dragon and pick up Ocean Soul, but it was done in such a bizarre and unique way by sending these front lines over in order to deal with it. And Keel, not even going to find Poom.
And Poom just gives him the thumbs up. Not even worried in the slightest, just showing up, watching what the jungler's doing, and giving a little bit of BM on the backside of that. It is 100 Thieves Academy's map as we take a look back on that dragon fight.
Yeah, we gotta pay attention. The smite is not up for Keel. I don't know where he used it previously, but he ends up not having it. The spear is enough. And this whole thing, right, starts off with Poom Tenacity just coming down to try and prevent this dragon from being taken. Right, they weren't necessarily looking for a fight. They were trying to buy time, and at the end of it, this play onto Damonte is kind of funny, right? Like, they don't know that he's here, right? They suspect he's here. They probably have a good idea that he's here, but Damonte just happens to see 3 people.
And look at Luger go. The Turkish Terror has been on a roll in this series so far. Canvey just showing up with that last bit of damage before one more swipe came in from to set him to the grave. But Luger overall, just great positioning, great play. The Gale Force was used well. The Killer Instinct was used well. He's looking great.
And it looks like he's building towards what is probably a Nashor's too. So going for all 3 evolves in this game, as the Kai said. Now with the Baron buff coming through, they're just looking to fight.
Desperation attempt coming out of CLG
Zaya.
Academy. They're getting a lot of damage in, and they're able to take down 2 just like that. Return kill comes in, but it's going to be a 1-for-3 exchange. Here comes the Realm Warp, and here comes the chase from CLG Academy. They're looking for Luger. They're getting some punishment onto Luger, but Poom is there to try and defend his ADC. Now Luger fighting for his life, trying to get the damage in, but the Killer Instinct! Luger finds his way out, and he finds the kill as well. A thumbs up on his escape. 100 Thieves get away with it.
Yeah, that play, I mean, we're kind of getting to the point of the game where this Zaya and this Ryze are going to be doing so much damage that the melee champions cannot deal with. But Luger and Poom making it look A-okay. That was such a cool play coming out from Poom in order to chase off the one low member to give Luger an opportunity to get out of what looked like a hopeless situation. And now Luger, level 15 to Katsuri's level 13. Got so much money, going to be a huge deal in these team fights. But again, 100 Thieves, they need to find a dive. They need to find people caught out, because otherwise stuff like this happens from Hooks.
I was talking about it. Hooks has some of the most insane engages when he's on the Rel, and that's what starts up that fight right there, Joshi.
Yeah, it's the big thing, right? You don't have a good way to actually go for a lot of these dives because you don't have a great primary engage. You got a lot of secondary engage. You got Poom, who's great at following up or catching people out. You have Volibear, who comes in, he runs at you quickly, but he's not necessarily going to be doing the most direct kind of engage. He just has to kind of run at you, and that can be stopped in a lot of different ways. So they got to be very aggressive. They got to find ways that are a little bit less intuitive, looking for flanks, looking for picks, looking for ways that CLG aren't expecting to get engaged upon, so you can get onto the back line, take these turrets, and actually close the game, because it's not over.
Yeah. It's very hard for 100 Thieves to actually set up a siege when they're this short range and they're dealing with Hooks' Rel. CLG Academy are now the ones who are pushing the lanes. As you can see, Keel and RJS just waiting in the wings as Thien continues shoving forward. They're waiting for Damonte to make any misstep as RJS goes around the corner. They do not realize that Tenacity is there over in base as well. Believe they threw a ping up, so they were able to spot him, and they are going to back off.
All right. I wonder if 100 Thieves can split push effectively, right? I suspect the answer is probably no, due to the engage potential from Keel in particular, just getting fights started and causing chaos so that Damonte and Tenacity won't be able to join in time. But I also don't know if this Ocean Soul is even going to be enough, and that's crazy to say, right? The damage coming out from RJS Katsuri is so high that the healing that you would normally get from Ocean Soul, which is generally perceived as a kind of big end-all win condition, might not be enough due to how high the DPS is.
It all really depends, and I feel like a lot of that weight is on to Luger. If he stays alive, it is very much enough. 100 Thieves can get away with it. If he drops, if 100 Thieves cannot protect him, that is it right there. They will outright lose the team fight because Katsuri and RGS bring way too much to the table. And now it's 100 Thieves setting up around this Baron, looking to try and force CLG's hand.
Alright, this is an interesting spot, right? Because 100 Thieves, they can do it. It's not super fast, but they can do it at a reasonable speed. But they take a lot of damage from the other team, so they got to make sure they get vision. They're probably looking to turn a lot more than Baron and Luger by himself. Okay, uses the Gale Force.
Just straightforward onto Katsuri, knocking about half of his health. That's what he can do by himself. That's the power of a Kaisa, pretty much both an assassin and an ADC.
Okay, look how dark this is. CLG are going to have such a tough time walking in. There's some big guys here in the way, but Luger, they see that he's not hitting it, and that just means that they don't have to walk over yet.
Missile still landing. Katsuri trying to auto away on these creeps to get whatever health back he can as Poom goes forward. Tenacity trying to find it as well. The feathers coming back will mean a route onto Tenacity, so 100 Thieves try the engage. They don't lose too much for it, though. That is the big thing about that failed engage.
Yeah, check out, I guess you can't see it right now, but Demonte chilling in this bush up top. Look for a potential assassination coming out from Demonte.
Baron has
big
been
flank
started.
from Poom. This is good. This is really
on
good.
the flank, starting to carry away Luger with a spear and a missile. Kill is gone. Now 100 Thieves are going to press this momentum and go for the engage. Poom unable to find the headbutt pulverized, but here we go. Tenacity runs and goes straight for the ADC.
Oh,
he wants
AoE.
Katsuri. Featherstorm comes out, but it's CLG who are able to find a target here and there, but Demonte able to get Katsuri to turn this one around. The end now left unchecked. Luger on the run. Can't get close enough to deal with the end. Kenvi has to try and pull Thien off. Now Thien, still sitting healthy, is watching very carefully on the flank as Demonte
Ooh.
flashes forward and claims RJS. 100 Thieves Academy, they will get 3. They will only lose Tenacity.
But remember, Eric, this was 4v5 coming out from CLG. Keel did not participate in that fight at all. He died from basically 70% to 0 almost instantly, and that was still a reasonably close fight coming out for CLG. But the Baron, the ultimate prize, is going to get picked up here for 100 Thieves. It's the second one. It's stronger than the first as Keel. 5-level difference. I guess it's only 4 now, but still 5 levels between the junglers. Kenvi, 230 CS to 160 from Keel. This is really, really big, and we often look at 50-50 smite steals. Can Keel get in? He is down 4 levels. That smite is doing about 200 damage less than his opponents. It's going to be such a big difference, and as we check out the gold, there is such a large gap there. Every single member is so much stronger than their opponents, except for Luger versus Katsuri, who's only up about 500.
And so rough for Kill, looking at that goal difference as well. I mean, it's looking like a jungle diff. I really hate to say it. I've seen great things out of Kill, but this is just not his day. On the Nocturne, he's been stopped, he's been choked, he's been completely suffocated, and there's no way in hell that Kill really finds a way back into this. And that is why 100 Thieves continue to press these engages. Katsuri gets caught out and will be the first one to fall. Now Poom getting chased down, but he's a strong boy. He can deal for himself. RJS, however, cannot. A double kill for Tenacity. And with the entire bot side of the map down, this should be game for 100 Thieves as they march into the base of CLG Academy.
Wow, 100 Thieves coming through. They make their Renekton Nidalee work. I had my questions, especially after the first fight that they actually had, but now they're looking really good. They are able to pull CLG around the map, control everything, and again, Kenvi coming up huge in this win as this Nidalee. He's looking really, really good this time around, and 100 Thieves going to have an opportunity to play up against Evil Geniuses in their next series after they close this out in CLG.
You can't close it out without padding the stats a little bit, getting a couple more kills just to make that KDA look ever so spicy. 100 Thieves Academy, great performance, great comeback. They heard you talking about that Nidalee Renekton combo, Joshi, and that's a victory for it right there.
They do pick it up. I'm not so sure it was because of Renekton and Nidalee, but they did individually great jobs. And overall, like, what more can you ask for? You end up getting a win. A dub is a dub. 100 Thieves take it down 2-1. And wow, we had 2 Game 3s today, Eric.
Yeah.
We don't get that a whole lot. And it was interesting watching the dynamics play out because we had stomp, stomp, close game. Stomp, stomp, close game. And it tends to be something that we don't often see at this level of play. So I'm excited to see that people are able to make adaptations in order to come back and actually have competitive third games.
And Joshi, the other thing about this is I want you to keep in mind the seeding for this matchup. This is the 3rd seed 100 Thieves Academy versus the 14th seed CLG Academy. CLG Academy, they were competitive, but it shows you basically how small the difference is in skill when it comes to these squads.
Yeah, we'll see. We got a lot more teams coming through. We've had a lot of Academy over the past couple of days, but we got a couple more amateur teams going to be rounding out the next series. Or not the next series, but the next couple of series where we get to see how the Academy teams will do up against the amateur teams in the future. Zeus take down one of them, but they still got a lot more Academy teams left to play. So don't go away. Proving Grounds still has a lot more coming up, but we're going to have an interview pretty soon. I can't wait to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to hear what they have to say because, like, any member of 100 Thieves Academy could really stand out right here, but the one that stands out to me the most is definitely going to be Luger. Those were some of the sickest plays I have ever seen on a Kaisa.
Yeah, just watching him move around some of these fights is really, really impressive, right? Kaisa, again, best in class AD carry in terms of its ability to play out a lot of these fights, to join the rest of the team. And we saw Luger able to play both the diving style as well as the escape style, as we kind of get to see here. He's able to go really aggressive in order to dive onto multiple people. We see him jump on Kotsuri a little bit later on, but the way that he and Poom are able to get himself out alive with this team fight is not something that you see a lot of players have the wherewithal to do. So congratulations and major props.
I just want to bask in this one because this was such a smart play. Poom distracting, pulling one member over for the killer instinct. Mwah! Chef's kiss right there. That was some beautiful play from Luger.
Yeah, and this last fight, like, again, Luger doesn't even need to do as much as he has in a lot of the other fights, simply because he's able to buy enough time, he's able to get the rest of his team strong enough, and they end up cleaning it up in this chaotic fight where the back line isn't able to stand behind the front line, they aren't able to establish battle lines, and 100 Thieves able to show that they can play multiple styles today, and very excited to see how they continue to play throughout the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I was loving this play coming out of 100 Thieves. They adapted well, they dealt with that loss pretty well, and, you know, that loss that they had in Game 2 wasn't that devastating. It was just a slow burn. So what do? They press the tempo. They continue with these comps that do early game damage, but now you have that kind of contingency plan with Luger being able to back it up. All that being said, though, 100 Thieves, they are going to proceed in this tournament, and they will be the ones to be facing off against Evil Geniuses Academy.
Yeah, that'll be another interesting one, right? We've been seeing Evil Geniuses Academy level up quite a bit over the past, month or so, and it's going to be a tough time for 100 Thieves to just push them around like they might have done earlier in the Academy season. And 100 Thieves have shown, like, they play well, but they are mortal. There are ways to take these guys down, and again, the winner plays up against one of the potentially toughest matchups in C9 Academy going up against Zeus. And we said Zeus was favored against TSM. I think this one's a bit harder, but Zeus will probably actually be able to get us a reasonably close series.
I'm looking forward to that one because we saw the Dignitas Mirage matchup. Even though it was a 2-0 going in favor of Cloud9 Academy, it was a competitive one. And if Dignitas Mirage can be competitive, I'm very sure that Zeus can bring, if not the same competition, if not more.
Oh, for sure. Right, we definitely are expecting Zeus to do a little bit better than Dignitas Mirage, who have, they were able to get into this event, and they are continuing to grow, but Zeus surprised a lot of people on how effective they were actually able to play. But we do have an interview coming up with one of the victorious members of 100 Thieves, as we do actually have Tenacity on the line. How you doing today, Tenacity?
Yo, what's up?
Yo, how you doing? You just won a close series going up against CLG, and you guys were able to take it down again with a very different style of composition than I was expecting to see in Game 3. Could you talk me through a little bit about how you guys got to that in the end?
I don't know. We just picked Bully Bear, bro. That champ's fucking OP. I don't fucking know. Oh.
You got a solo kill up against your lane opponent, so it's got to be doing something right at the very least. But we saw a couple of different styles come out from you guys, and especially a lot of emphasis on the Nidalee Renekton, which had a little bit of mixed success. Is this something that you guys have been working on particularly recently? Because I feel like it's a fairly recent development for you guys.
Yeah, so early on when Tanner came into our team, we were starting to play it a lot, but slowly as we started playing more with him, we started shifting away from that style. And we have not practiced it in a little bit, right? But it is like somewhat comfort. But obviously we looked really rusty on it, so it definitely wasn't what we expected. But yeah.
And of course, I always got to ask, how is it being part of the 100 Thieves? They're pretty well known for being one of the better organizations when it comes to developing amateur talent. Are you loving it with Papa Smithy? How's it going over there?
Yeah, it's chill. I don't know. LA's cool. Org's awesome. Everyone's lovely here, so yeah, couldn't be happier.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to hear that things seem to be going well overall. Naturally, we got to look a little bit towards the future, as Evil Geniuses Academy are going to be your next opponents. And give me a little bit of insight into how you guys are expecting this to go. Are you fearing them? Are you, just expecting this to be an easy win? What kind of things are 100 Thieves Academy thinking about?
Well, based from scrim results, I'm pretty sure it'll be a easy 2-0 for sure. And I get to play versus Tony Top. He's an old rival from amateur. Used to play him a lot, so that'll be fun. He's pretty good. Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a 2-0, essentially. So yeah.
All right. That's
All right.
good. Eric, got anything else?
Oh, I gotta ask, because we just saw one of the best performances I've ever seen out of an ADC and Luger. How is it playing with that bot lane when you have Luger and Poom down there, and some of the things Luger was able to pull off in that game?
It's actually pretty great. Like, they can play weak side, they can play strong side. Luger's a fucking Smurf, bro. He's also funny as fuck. He's very funny as well. So I don't know. It's nice playing with him, having a strong bot lane every game. So you just chill on the top lane. Pretty nice.
Nice. All right. Well, we got another question then, as we have some more time. As this amateur scene, as you naturally had some big opportunities to play with the 100 Thieves next roster, now moving up towards the academy. Are there amateur teams that you guys are looking at right now and it's like, wow, these guys are doing quite well, or is it all just easy games left and right for you guys?
I think the only scary team is the Viper team. I think no orc with like 5-Fire Viper Onda. That they're definitely the scariest. Like probably they'd be really highly rated in academy, maybe even low LCS. I think they're really good, but yeah, that's about it for amateur.
That's about it. Well, we'll see how well they're actually able to play up against these guys. Do you have any expectations on how the opposite side of the bracket between Cloud9 Academy and Zeus is expected to go?
I think C9 will probably 2-0. They're probably the best team in academy right now, so
Probably the best team.
definitely
Well,
expect that.
there you go. I mean, Tenacity's got high praise for Cloud9, but congratulations to you guys on your win over CLG today. That's going to be all we have with you today. So again, thank you for coming in. Congratulations, and we're going to be looking to close out the show. Anything else you got left to say?
no, that's it. I'm good.
All right.
Thank you,
All
and
right,
take
thank you
care.
so much.
All right.
All right, that was a straightforward interview with Tenacity.
Yeah.
Pulls no punches, that's for sure.
This champion's easy. These guys are free. What more can you ask for? I mean, the guy's got confidence.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need. Get the confidence, and he's got the skill to back it up as well. So congratulations to 100 Thieves Academy. They definitely played spectacularly well. And of course, another congratulations to Zeus Gaming being one of the amateur squads to continue to proceed in this tournament so far.
Yeah, I mean, as we heard, Tenacity says Cloud9 Academy potentially the best team that they could potentially go up against, and it's going to be definitely a difficult road. So I'm very excited to see all these different teams go up against each other. It has been an interesting road here throughout Proving Grounds and the Proving Grounds circuit, and we got a whole lot more left to go. This is only day 2 of a 16-team double elimination tournament, so we got plenty more League of Legends action to go as we look towards what is happening tomorrow. We have Dignitas Academy going up against Wildcard, and No Ori going to be playing up against Golden Guardians Academy, so you won't want to miss that at all.
And, oh man, I am very excited for that TLA Barrage game. Pretty much all these games give me a lot of excitement because Amateur Academy, we're getting such a mix of young talent, upcoming talent, going against each other, and it's competitive, Joshi.
It is. All these teams have a lot to show. I mean, I think we saw earlier that even Cloud9 can bleed. They might be the strongest team, but there's lots left to play throughout this entire thing. So, I mean, I'm excited to see 100 Thieves, EG, but there's really nothing that I'm not looking forward to as we get to see all these teams go head-to-head and continue to level up and show that NA does have domestic talent.
Hey, Joshi, I gotta ask, what's the matchup you're most looking forward to when it comes to these next matches?
Are we talking about just tomorrow, or can we go a little bit further than that?
We can go further than that. We can go further than that because there's a lot of spice, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Team Liquid versus Barrage, personally. Obviously, we got a little bit of history there. We've been able to talk with Jenkins quite a bit over the past couple of years, but Barrage is one of these teams that at the very beginning of the season we were expecting really big things out of, and they've had a rocky road and able to get here, but this is going to be a big test as to how well this squad is actually going to be able to take down one of the best Academy teams.
I mean, there's a lot of hype matchups, Josie, and I gotta agree with you on that one. TLA versus Barrage is gonna be one I'm looking out for. But, this is not just the end. That's not the only side of the bracket. We now have a new side of the bracket, which is the loser side of the bracket, with Dignitas Mirage versus TSM Academy, and FlyQuest Academy versus CLG Academy. So, it's not done for those teams that were just defeated here today.
Yeah, they've got a lot more left to play. Obviously, the lowest bracket is going to be a bit more difficult to play through. You got to play twice as many games to even get the same kind of placing overall in the tournament, but only a couple teams will be able to make it there in the end. So, lots more Proving Grounds, lots more excitement to be had. Great time overall, and thanks for joining us so much today. Got any final words today, Eric?
I got nothing else to say, but thanks once again for joining us. We will see you guys next time. My name, Eric Desarux-Beltran. My co-caster, it is Joshua Joshi Howard. And we will see you next time for the LCS Proving Grounds.